Thank you so much. This is a topic near and dear to my heart as a mom of three little kids, and it's all about thought acceptance, how we can cut through some of the mental and emotional clutter that is not ours to carry around, some of the thoughts and feelings that we just don't feel like we can express. My name is Courtney Stanfield. I'm joining you from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and I am the founder of Air Out, a completely anonymous space, an app where you can go and offload the thoughts and feelings that are weighing you down without any judgment, guilt, or shame, because there are no usernames, there's no user interaction, there are no likes, there are no comments. It's just a safe place for you to say all the things that you might not want to say out loud that we all experience, especially in the journey of parenthood. So I'll back it up a little bit. This is not my background at all. Life takes you in twists and turns. I never thought I would be an app developer at all. A year and a half ago, this wasn't even on the table. My background is working in TV, local TV, about 17 years in television. And then I met my husband and we started a family, and we had three kids in less than 2 years. We had twins, and then a year and a half, just a little over that, we had another one. So we just really jumped right into parenthood, and we don't have any family around, no support system. So it was just us. So it was a really challenging time when you have that many little people with big demands, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and you feel like you are the only person there for them. So during that time, we also had two aging senior dogs, which pet people out there, when animals reach a certain age, they can honestly be as much work as toddlers. So it felt like at times I had five beings waking me up, needing something from me, creating messes, constant demands, and I was lost in it, as we all often feel completely lost in motherhood. And some of the thoughts I would have, I wouldn't say are intrusive, and Air Out is by no means meant to replace therapy, proper counseling, coaching, anything like that. It's a tool. It's a tool to use in your day-to-day life just to help bring you back home in some of those moments. So when you're overstimulated, overwhelmed, frustrated, feeling down, whatever it may be, you might have a thought like, I never should have became a mother. And your initial reaction to even hearing that, you probably gasp a little bit and go, oh, how terrible. And that would be the reaction from a lot of people. If you did say that out loud, they would immediately have this reaction, this take back. And they'd say, you're so lucky, you're so grateful. And yes, all of those things I am, and I love my children more than anything. But in this moment, I am having a tough moment. I am overstimulated. I'm overwhelmed. I'm in fight or flight. My brain is trying to make sense of the emotions I'm feeling. So it's trying to find words to put together. And that might come out like, I never should have became a mother. I don't want to be married anymore, whatever it may be in these moments. And they're not even necessarily true, but in that moment, you are allowed to express it. So that is self-expression. And that is what this entire mission is about. I just want people to feel safe and to feel better and to give themselves the okay, because self-expression, it doesn't warrant if it's right or wrong. Expression is expression because it's happening to you in real time at that moment. And that's enough. That's enough to need to move it. And when we don't have a place to say these things, like let's say we have that thought, I never should have became a mother, or I'm a terrible mother, and you don't say it out loud. So you suppress it. You push it down, you push it down. And then you start looking at other people and you think, well, motherhood seems to be coming so much easier to them. Why do they look so happy? Why am I struggling with this? And then comes the guilt and the shame. And what started as a small thought in a really tough, hyper emotional moment has now completely transformed into something heavier that you are wearing in your body, because it's just energy. And when we don't express it, we store it, and it builds and it gets bigger and badder, and we end up feeling worse. So that's the entire idea behind Air Out. And I was feeling this way when I had my kids are still pretty little. The twins are 5 and the littlest will be 4 this week. But in the really thick of it, years 1, 2, 3, and I'd have these moments and I wouldn't feel like I had anyone to turn to. And growing up often, I I felt like if I could be right or wrong, but my interpretation, my memory of the events is that when I opened up to someone, I often ended up feeling worse. And I wish I could take it back. And I regretted ever expressing myself based on their reaction or their comments or whatever it may be. So we often don't say anything for fear of what people will think of us. So I started asking universe, higher power. I thought, like, if I feel this way, someone else has to feel this way because there's nothing special about me in this journey. I'm just a mother with young children, relatable to how many others, millions in the same position. And then I had a dream in March last year, and it was so profound. It woke me up in the middle of the night, and I could see the app, but more so, I could feel the emotional release that people would have from using this app. And it was so vivid. I started emailing app development companies in the middle of the night, and I wanted to quit 100 times. This is not easy. This has taken a huge commitment of time, money, energy to keep coming back to. And already in a busy life, I wanted to just stop, cancel it all. I made a mistake. I took off too much, but I just kept getting these intuitive hits that yes, this needs to come to life. This has to exist. There needs to be a tool like this for people. And so stayed the course, followed the journey. I know nothing about tech or app development, so thank goodness for the brilliant minds out there that do and can translate to people like me to bring this concept into what it is today. So we just launched earlier this year. We're the new kid in town. We are just a baby, an infant, but we are here for the long haul. And it's really the messages to help you feel better. So it's called Air Out. And basically how it works is, again, completely anonymous. We don't even ask you your name when you sign up. You can sign up with whatever random email you want, free to download, free to try. And then after that, it's 99 cents, which just goes to maintenance fees and upgrades, whatever, to keep the app going. But free to try. And that's enough time period to really feel into your body if you're getting this release, which is what it's designed to do. So there's 6 chat spaces, we'll call them, moms, dads, and not just for moms and dads, but for everybody who has a mom and a dad. We're talking intergenerational healing, intergenerational commentary, whatever it is on your mind. There's a work space, a love space. So that's for relationships, dating, even just feeling lonely, feeling like you're unlovable, any of those moments where you just need to move some of that energy. There's a brag space, which is awesome because we want to hear the good stuff as well. Celebrate you, celebrate your milestones, the awesome stuff you're doing, the challenges you're overcoming. Maybe you're on a fitness program, maybe you're celebrating sobriety, maybe you didn't lose your cool with your kids when you typically would have. Whatever it may be, it's just as important to give yourself that pat on the back along the way too. And then venting. That seems to be the favorite of the 6 so far, and that's for the everyday occurrences, the moments that come up, the confessions, the secrets, the things that are just bubbling to get out of you where you just need to put them somewhere. And so you sign up with random email, nothing else. We don't care where you are, what you look like, how much money you have, none of that stuff. So it's not a social media app at all. We actually brand ourselves as anti-social in the sense that you cannot interact with other users. You cannot like or comment. So if you were to express yourself on traditional social media, which a lot of people do, there are lots of support groups for parents, which is a beautiful thing. And if you're looking for feedback, amazing. That's the place for you. But if you're not and you just want to feel heard, that could be a very toxic environment because if you are opening up on Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, Twitter, whatever it may be, you can be sure you will receive dozens of responses that likely make you feel worse, that are judgmental, that make you feel small, that make you regret opening up, and that just creates more heaviness to carry around. So we don't want any of that. This is just a dumping ground, like a void, a place to move thoughts. Because I love this analogy, if you're with me. A thought, let's pretend it's like a physical object and someone gives it to you to hang on to. And maybe that's as simple as, I feel like a terrible mother. Okay, so you're holding that item, and then you get another thought. It says, I married the wrong person. So you're holding another object, and then someone hands you another object to hold. And let's say that thought is, I'm never going to make anything in my career. I'm in a dead-end job. I feel like a loser, and everything I did in school or everything I dreamed of is never going to happen. How many physical objects can you hold until you throw them down on the ground and snap. You get mad. You want to walk away because it's uncomfortable carrying that, and you can only carry so much. And it's the exact same with our thoughts. And if we're not paying attention to them throughout the day and we're not sorting them, almost like a conveyor belt, like a thought comes, it doesn't feel good. We don't like that. So now we have a place where we can put it into the app so we can move that energy and free ourselves of that weight. But if we're not doing that, it's the buildup, build up, snap, explosion. So what I'm hoping this app does too is encourages people to pay attention to their thoughts as they come up. And it's very normal. You are a human living a complex life with many demands. You're going to have thoughts that are less than ideal in tough moments, especially in parenthood. That does not mean you are not a good parent. That does not mean that you have to carry guilt and shame around that. It just means that you have a buildup of energy in your body and you need a safe place to move it so you no longer have to carry it around. Because if we're not processing as we go, we have those moments. And if you think about at the end of the day, you have all these micro moments that build. Let's say you're on your way to work and someone cuts you off. That might be a small annoyance. This person cut me off. But what you might be internally telling yourself is, I don't matter. No one sees me. And you carry that thought into work. And let's say someone at work takes the last coffee pod. Wow. Once again, no one respects me. I'm bottom of the list. No one cares about my needs. I'm invisible. Goes on and on and on. And if we're not properly dealing with those as they come, by the time we get home, we are going to be in a state, understandably, because it feels terrible to carry that stuff around. We are going to be possibly detached, disassociated, short, angry, whatever it may be, how you express when you are in that state of just caring too much. And your family is going to feel the impact. But if we're processing as we go and we have a thought, we think, I see you, I hear you. That doesn't feel good. So I'm just going to move it here because it's all it is. It just needs somewhere else to go. So you give it a new home. And you do that throughout the day. When you show up at the end of the day, you're going to be a completely different person for your family. You're going to feel clear-headed and peaceful in your heart and in your body. Your body's going to relax. I mean, it's as simple as just trying it once to see the magic of it. If you have a thought that you've been stewing with, if you have the ability to express it instantly, your shoulders will relax. You'll take a deep breath. You'll feel relief. And that is what I want for people, because if we all feel just like an ounce better, you think about collectively as a whole, raising this next generation, how much better that could be for everybody and every place we go, because we bring that energy where we go. So it really is like a network, that our energy becomes a network, and it's so important that we're managing it. And I want to talk about the spaces too, and dads in particular, because we're in the societal shift now where men are so encouraged to be in touch with their emotions and be more vulnerable in modern masculinity. Well, my husband's been very instrumental in helping me develop this app as well. And the importance of having a specific room just for men, because he has said that he doesn't feel like he has a voice next to a mom or a wife. He feels like his needs come last. And so you have someone who has a very complex role in the family, just as a mother does, different roles perhaps, if we'll use a very traditional family example, but we come in all shapes and sizes, of course, and who's at home with kids and who's working and whatever else you're juggling. But principle stands that you have two whole beings with their own experiences, their own inner dialogue, their own feelings that are coming together to parent, and one of them is feeling like they don't have a say, and so they're putting themselves further down and further down. And my husband will say that he doesn't want to open up for fear of being further isolated, because while we talk about men being more open, is the platform actually there? Has the stage actually been set for men to open up more? So to be one of the first, it can be scary. So he says it feels isolating and he's apprehensive to do so. So that's where the power of anonymity comes in, because for the first time in a lot of people's lives, that's the only time where we can be truly equal, because no one knows who you are, what you look like, where you're from, and no one can say anything to you in return. So it's this powerful tool in anonymity and being anonymous, that we can remove these social masks that we have. We can remove these barriers we put up, because we often don't express ourselves fully and wholly. We may offer little tidbits of the truth to people that have been censored and toned down and softened to become socially acceptable, but we're not actually moving the entire energy. So we're giving people just a little tidbit, but we're still compressing so much of that, which is not healthy. So now, when no one knows it's you, we are safe to actually say what's on our minds. So this dad's chat has been so powerful to see dads and men really opening up about some of the fears in parenthood, or feeling like they come last, feeling like they are handcuffed to their job because their role is to provide, and that they can't pursue their dreams because they have to have the paycheck, and that no one actually cares how they're feeling in the dynamic. So if we all take ownership of ourselves and we're able to check in and monitor our own thoughts and our own energy throughout the day, and have that safe place where we can try it and we can start to experiment with self-expression in its truest, rawest form, then it's only going to become easier and more beneficial. So it's been really inspiring to see moms. I mean, also there's so many shared challenges too. And I like to joke around about that too, that this app really showcases how unoriginal we are in our thoughts and our challenges, because there are only so many human emotions to experience. There are only so many situations where you can have these moments brought up that are unique to us. For the most part, we are living very parallel experiences a lot of the time. And you can read in the app. So that's the beautiful part too, is that you cannot respond or like or comment, but you can read other people's posts. And that in itself is so affirming to the fact that you are not alone, that we are in this together, that we are sharing these challenges, and it's okay to have these tough thoughts. It's not personal. It's not you. It's not yours to carry. It's just a thought that you had in a moment that so many other people can relate to. So it's this sense of community that we can read how other people are feeling and the challenges they're experiencing, while also feeling safe to fully express without any feedback. And there are some interesting parallels that have come out in the app. A trend that you see in every chat space really is how alone people feel, whether you are, single and dating, or you've been married for decades, or maybe it's in your job, or maybe it's in parenthood. Whatever it may be, so many people are expressing the sense of loneliness, deep isolation from others. And that's the problem with traditional social media. I mean, we all know there's a list this long of all the problems with it, but ultimately it's that no one's real. No one's actually presenting who they are, and everything is so censored. So when we can get away from that, we're actually our true, raw, authentic selves. And that's the beautiful part that we can see. We are connecting on what makes us human. And it's so simple and it's so easy, but it is effective. It works. And I just encourage you, for your journey through parenthood and through your relationship and your career, whatever it is you're navigating, just to pay attention to those thoughts and to give them somewhere to go. You don't even have to tell anyone you're doing it. You don't have to tell anyone you're trying it. And just notice it, type it out, write it out. And half the time, that in itself helps. I mean, we know the power of journaling. It's been around and studied for however many decades, right? Journaling is a beautiful thing, but often it requires a specific time and a specific place. So by the end of the day, you get home to your journal, you've already forgotten half of the stuff you're wearing for the day, and it's embedded in your body. This is powerful in the sense it's like a modern Dear Diary moment on the go, 24/7. You can use it at work, in line at the store, while you're sitting next to your partner, while you're looking at your boss, whatever it may be. So you can constantly be moving that energy. And the act of typing it out is very similar to journaling, and that when you hit send, then you have that instant release. So my whole mission in life, I don't know how I got here, but I did. And I'm a person for the people. I know how hard this can be. I know the challenges that can come up, but I just want people to know that your thoughts are not yours to carry. You don't have to have guilt and shame around them. There is a safe place now to put them where we can relate, we can feel good, we can open up, and we can get back to our inner peace, because that's all it is cutting through so much of the noise when we already have a million and one things on the go, Terrain.
Thank you. I absolutely love that because someone wrote in the Facebook comments that, let me read this. I love that there's a safe place for a brain dump.
Yes, exactly. And you know what's funny? They say it like that because I promise you, when you start, a lot of people say, I don't know what to say. Like, I usually keep that stuff on the inside. I'm like, start with something small, a small annoyance. And it's like you just pop the jar off, and all of a sudden you have one thing to say here and another thing to say here and a thing to say here. And as you're going through it, your body's feeling better and better and lighter. And before you know it, there's nothing on your mind. Like, you have a peaceful mind and an ease in your body because you've just moved all of that energy, and it works, and it's so effective. And I'm glad they said that. Yes, dump it, just keep putting it in there into the void.
Let me ask you a few questions then. I guess my first question is, when someone, actually, let me take a step back. How important is it to have a place where you can just put all your thoughts and be like, oh, thank
it's
God?
it's vital. And that's our problem, is that we are going through these complex emotions and these complex problems, but we don't want to say any of it. We don't want to express any of it truly and honestly. And I know you might turn to a mom friend or a sister or a colleague, and you might say, oh, they're not sleeping and I'm really tired and I just feel disconnected from my husband. But, to be expected, that'll be okay. That's not real. That's not the energy that's living in your body. The energy that's living in your body is, I am exhausted. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't even recognize my husband. I feel like we have nothing to talk about. Everything that is so raw and real that you wouldn't say to someone else. But that is where the relief is. That is where you own it. I feel like a loser. I'm never going to be something. I never should have done this. I've wasted my time. I've wasted my money, whatever it may be. Or I don't like my kid. How about that? Can't say that to a lot of people. You love your kid, but you may not like who they are right now. But you can't hang on to that and live with it because it's on the back burner. It's building in your body. So it is vital to have a place where we can just express, just move it without anybody coming at you. And that's the key difference, because I know how hateful and harsh and negative it can be if you're opening up in a public forum with your face and your name. None of that here. So you can just be you.
And then it goes back to, there isn't a shame in using this, right? Like, when you go to someone, you're like, oh, I love my kid, but
Mhm.
today I just don't like them. You're a mom. Moms are supposed to always love them. Doesn't matter if they burned the house down, right? Because you have these expectations from
Exactly.
society. Like, how important, or sorry, let me take a step back.
Mhm.
How beneficial is it to have an outlet where you remove the shame of your thoughts, you remove the guilt of your feelings when it comes to your family and your children?
Because it's all just made up. It's just noise. It is mental noise. It is emotional noise. It is just clutter that you are picking up. They're just thoughts. They don't have to be connected to you. They're not yours to carry. And I love this. I'm a yoga teacher too, and we talk about thoughts and how to break it down. A thought is just a series of words put together in a particular way to ignite a feeling. And that's why often when you're in those hyper emotional aroused states, where you have those negative thoughts that are really coming at you because your brain's trying to make sense of it. But it's not you. You are in a tough situation, and it is okay to be exactly who you are in that tough situation. No guilt, no shame. You're just a human. You're just a person. You can only process so much. So don't attach to it. Just move it somewhere else so it's not yours to carry, because it's when you carry it, you hang on to it, that guilt and shame builds.
Perfect. And Courtney, before I let you go, I'm going to give you three wishes. Aladdin's
Mhm.
genie lamp. I give it to
Mhm.
everyone else. What are three things you wish parents knew about being able to communicate what they truly feel without feeling shame, guilt, or any other type of emotion that could be viewed as negative.
There's nothing wrong with you. You're not a monster. You are a loving mother. You care about your kids. You are doing a very, very hard job. And the same thing for dads. And I wanted to talk about that earlier too, is that dads are now in a really interesting place where they are expected to parent and be emotionally vulnerable and available with their kids and physically present when they were never taught how to do that. So previous generations were not taught. So now men are showing up to the table trying to piece this all together, how to be a provider and meet the emotional needs of their partner, how to show up for their kids, how to have energy for everybody else but themselves. And that is a huge job. That takes tremendous strength to show up for every day. And it's going to come with some less than ideal thoughts. A man posted in the dad's chat that he hates at the end of the day coming home from work, that he doesn't want to be around his kids. Who can you say that to? But that's true. That's the reality. He's tapped out. He's met everyone else's needs, and he hates that he can't show up for his kids in the way he wants to. Being able to express that is so powerful. So just accept it. You meet yourself where you are. It says nothing about you at all. It says something about your circumstances and your emotional state, not you as a person. And remember that they are not yours to carry, and don't be afraid to face them head on. Face your thoughts and feelings face on, because if we don't, we're kind of ignoring them. And it's like we're living in a little room with the blinds closed and they're knocking on the window and the door. They're not going to go away. So when we turn and face them, we realize that the scariest part was just turning to face them and think, you know what? No, I might feel like I'm a terrible mother, but I actually know that that's not true. I see you, I hear you, I'm going to move you over here. So don't be scared. Don't feel bad. This is who you are. We are all people. And if you do experience the app and you try it, you will see that very, very quickly, that we are all just living this human experience with a vast array of emotions, and that we are all so similar and we are actually there to support each other.